Hello everybody, it's me, Stephan, and now I would like to talk about meditation, because you hear it a lot, meditation, how to meditate, and it is pretty important for your overall life or spiritual life. So let's talk about meditation, how to meditate. So I would like to dive right into it. Let's talk about what is not meditation. There's a classical image of meditation that, especially people who think that they don't meditate, I would say everybody meditates. It's a very common thing for everybody to meditate, because meditation is a basic practice of life. We'll see later when I explain what I think meditation is, why I think that is something that everybody does. So let's first talk about what is not meditation. Many people think meditation is a tradition of especially Asian countries, and it works like this. That's what people wrongly think. People wrongly think that meditation looks like this. You sit down, you become all quiet. It's because we, unknown of Buddhist techniques, sometimes think just have this concept of this Buddhist concept of not wanting anything, to stand off of wanting things, not wanting anything. So we think, and we hear this complete emptiness ideas, and since Buddhism is meditation is often connected to Buddhism somehow, in our thinking, which it should not be, but it often is. So we think that meditation is about becoming empty, becoming quiet, and not wanting things. And so some people think the classical meditation is that you sit on the floor and put your hands on your knees and your legs crossed and your hands on top, and you sit like this and become quiet and don't want anything. That's of course not proper meditation. That's actually doing nothing. So it's not proper meditation, because it's not doing anything. So what actually is meditation? I usually start, when I explain meditation, I usually start with the one sentence that you hear a lot from me, and that is, it is all just images. We're trying to reach some very complicated things, and so we make up images in our mind that we can work with, and then we follow these ideas, but ultimately we know those are just images, and the reality is different than our images. But I will give you my images that I use for meditation. So let's start with, I would like to just cover the subject meditation loosely, just talk about from beginning to end in a general way, and then afterwards explain the things in more detail. So quickly, imagine that you have a state in your mind that is your first state, when you do nothing. Just try to do nothing, and imagine that there's a state that you have by yourself. Just sit there and do nothing. Be nothing. Think. Don't try to be anything special. Just be nothing. You will have a state that you basically are. I call it it's behind in your head at a point. It's in the back of your head at a point, the basic point, but that's just where I like to say so clearly that those are images. There's nothing at a certain place in the head. It is not about a certain place in the head where you think of. It's just like, let's imagine it's in the back of your head, because we want to work later on with the whole brain, with the whole thoughts, with the whole way that you hold your body, with the motion and the three-dimensional movement of your body in space. I would like to incorporate that all in our meditation. So that's why I say it's in the back of your head. It's something that's not what we're working with when we meditate. What we working with when we meditate is the part in front, and it's everything. So I start with saying there's something in the back. A security concept. There's something that's in the back that's secure. That's what you cannot something you cannot change. Something you cannot change with your meditation. That's always there. Sometimes you have quick thoughts. Your thoughts are racing, as we say, and you think, I think of this and I think of that, and then that's why we start with thinking that there's something in the back of our mind somewhere that is unchangeable. This unchangeable point. And now we want to talk about more meditation, but a fly. But we do not want to forget everything to become this point. To become only this true thing that I mentioned. We want to keep this true thing, and from there change ourselves and change our thoughts to put them in, as I say, the right form. We'll come to that later, or what I mean with that. So, if you should have racing thoughts, you might sometimes think, I could go crazy. So many thoughts, it's like I'm crazy. You cannot go crazy, because at some point your thoughts gonna fall back. All the thoughts are gonna vanish, and they're gonna fall back to that basic starting point that you start from. So let's sit and think and do nothing. Try to not do anything, not think anything, and then we experience that we are at a basic point, a point where we do nothing. So, from this basic point now, I think it's very important in meditation to understand a concept that I call the form of your thoughts. Like, your body has a form. And I don't mean the form that it has by itself, I mean the form that you give it. If I would go like this, I would have a certain form. If I would put my hands over here, I would be in a different shape. It's like you can put your body into different forms, into different shapes. And the same you can do with your thoughts. And that's where I'm headed with good meditation. You have to imagine whatever you think of. It's not only the things you think of. Picture it picture that it has a certain form. Like my hands make a form here and make a form here, and your thoughts do the same. They make a form. So you don't have to try to make a physical form, to imagine, I put my thought here or there. That's not what I mean. It's just experience your thoughts and think that we are headed to, that I was talking about this, I'm headed to experience the thoughts as overarchingly. Like, I want to experience the whole thought process and call it a form. Let's see how far we get with this. As I said, those are all images, so it's not really like this. There's not really a form of the thoughts, but we need things to work with. So, okay, so you got You got things in your thoughts that you think about. Let's say, as an example, you think about a fire truck. A fire truck, a car that can drive to a fire and put water on it. A fire truck. You think about that. So that does not describe your attitude at the moment, because that's a topic you think about, some topic. You might think about something else, about horses or horse racing. That does not describe the way you are. It just describes what you think about. So let's now imagine you are happy at the moment. And you think about a fire truck. So there's these two factors. You are happy at the moment, and you think about a fire truck. And you could also be anxious and be afraid and think about a fire truck. So those two things form the shape. They together make the form of your thoughts. That's what I meant before with to get an idea of your overall thoughts, and not just what you think about, but also how you think about it, how you feel, how you are situated, how all these things together make up the form of your thoughts. So I want you to think about your thinking of not only thinking of topics, fire trucks, horses, horse racing. It's not only the topics you think about. And I want you to also not think about your thoughts as only the feeling that you have. It's not only that you're happy or relaxed or afraid. Take them both together. Take the things you think about and take the way you think about them. And when you have both together and call them a form, then you will see that there's more to it than getting a good attitude or a good mood, that you're relaxed and calm and thinking about a topic. You will rather find that when both these things are part of when both these areas are part of the form that you give your thought, then there's a new value to this. Let's say, as an example, your attitude of being happy would look like this. I show with my hands. That's just an abstract idea of having a form that you have. You are in a certain way. You are happy and you're relaxed. So let's make an example. It would be a form. And then let's say a fire truck. Thinking about a fire truck would look like this. Would have a form that would look like this. It's just an example. It's not what I mean with form. It's something else. Let's just think of one thing as a shape, or an object with a shape, and the other thing as an object with a shape. I'm happy and I think about a fire truck. Both together. Now, what I'm thinking is what I call the form of my thoughts at the moment. And if you see that, if you understand that both are making the form of your thoughts, you think, then it is neither being happy nor it's the fire truck, because it's this combined thing with its new shape, with its round, with the shape that it has all over. This is my the form of thoughts that I have at the moment. And you have to understand that you, if you want to really work with your mind, and if you want to work with your mind, what basically meditation is, it's working with the thoughts. then you understand that this all over form of your thoughts must have an impact on the world, or an impact on yourself, or just a form that you give yourself that can be good, or that can be helpful spiritually, and that can be neither not helpful spiritually. So you start to think about it being abstract. The fire truck is not helpful if you think about it like that. The fire truck, what you think about it, is not helpful to think about it. Let's say you're not thinking about a fire truck. Let's say you're thinking about how you have to be spiritual, how good religion works, how you can come closer to God. Let's say you instead of just the example the easy example of a fire truck that I used, just let's say you're thinking about religion coming closer to nirvana, and you think about these things, and you think you're very clever, and on the other hand you are maybe relaxed or afraid, and have a certain form of the thoughts with that. So let's say you have both. You're thinking about very clever things, and you're in a certain mood, and you don't put it together. Then your actual form of your overall thoughts might not be helpful might not be a helpful meditative state that you're in. And that's the most important thing you have to notice about meditation. About a proper meditation is something that you do all day, and you try to have a good state, a good form of your body, and a good form of your thoughts. So let's say I think about religion, and I think I'm so clever because I'm really thinking about things, how they could be, and put all my mind to this. And let's say this thinking about religion has a form that looks like this. It's just a pure example. It's not nothing real about it. It's just as any form. Could also be like this or like this. It has a form. In some form, however it is. And you're being relaxed we had this form. So you're thinking about religion has a form, and you're being relaxed has a form. So while you think without meditation, you think you are thinking about religion, but what you don't notice is that the way you are, your situation, if you're relaxed, your attitude, all these things, and what you are thinking about together are a form, and maybe like this. So you have a form of this together. So you do not know if this form is good for your spiritual attitude. So if you notice that, if you think about it like that, your aim in meditation, that what you're looking for, is to have a good, well-working overall form. So in many cases, thinking about things and being in a certain state of mind sounds an intelligent thing to do, but it's not intelligent from the view of your complete form of the thoughts. Your complete form of the thoughts is not thinking about things. It is keeping a good form. Your complete form of the thoughts is important. So you have to keep that in mind. That's a basic and very important thing. So let's not think about religion, because if you think about God or Allah in a certain, or could it be like this, or could it be like that, you notice your mind, your thoughts, is God big? puts your thought in a certain form? Is God eternal? Puts it in a certain form. Maybe God does not exist, puts you in a certain form. That's not what you want. If you think, does he exist? Does he not exist? Is he big? Or what force does he have? This all gives your thought forms. And that's not what you want, because you rather want to give the form of your thoughts the way you want it. You want to control the form of your thoughts. So you notice, thinking about things is not controlling the form of your thoughts. So let's take this as an example. Let's say, does God exist? Gives me this form. Does God not exist? Gives me that form of a thought. Is he strong? Gives me another form. Is he weak? Gives me another form. So this is not useful. And together and to this comes what attitude I am. Am I glad? If he has power, then am I glad? If he has power, then I have a form like this. Do I not like if God would have power? It gives me a form like this. My thought form. That's why I speak of thought form. It's not really forms. But it's the way you are that can be defined. So that's not what you want. You don't want to let this loose. It's like swinging loosely while you think about things, and you are tossed in. Oh, I don't like this. Do I like this? And then even your attitude, if you are glad or not, changes with the thing you're thinking about. So your form of the thought completely changes. While you think you are clever thinking about things. But you are not clever because you are not controlling the form of your thoughts. So notice the states. If you think about, is God big, strong and powerful, or is God weak, or does he not exist? Notice how you try to notice what form this gives you, each point, and then not choose what you think is true, but forget thinking about these things and rather choose the form that is the best. Of course, at some point we will think about things. We will still think about things. But that's not the problem. I don't want you to sit there and not think about things. Because sometimes, very often, it's a clever thing to do, to think about things. So let's put this aside for a moment. And let's say, how much do we now not think about things anymore? And the point is, as I always say, the normal things are the right things. If you sit there meditating, somebody comes into the room and wants your help, needs your friendship, wants that you listen to him, he or she wants that you give her or him a good feeling by just listening, by giving warmth, by giving friendship, then forget all your meditation, put it aside, say I'm going to meditate at another time, and just listen to that person, talk to that person, cook, give the person food, just be there. That is the right thing to do. You don't need meditation because these true normal things always come first. They always come first place. Be a nice person. In the sense of don't meditate to come to the higher things, but be a normal person, give the people the friendship they need. So if you want to understand how can I be a better person, you have to think about things. You have to consider, if I do this, it will not be helpful. If I do that, it will be more helpful. If I do this thing, it will not be helpful for this, but it will be helpful for another thing. So, okay, those are the options. And then there's this option that will be the best option. I can do this. This will help this person, and it will help me, and that's the best we can get from the situation. So, even though I said before that we're looking for the form of our thoughts, still we want to think about things. It's not to be seen too strict. We are clever. We are clever. We are intelligent beings, and thinking about the things is our option. And thinking about the things is always the first option. Being nice on the casual way, not meditating, not creating a form, but the first thing that's most important. The first thing always is to do the things that feel right in order to be nice, in regard to being nice. If somebody comes, don't say, "Oh, go away, I'm meditating." Rather say, "I got nothing to meditate as long as you need my friendship." Give the friendship, give the talk, give that first. Don't meditate. Forget, just be yourself, be normal, not thinking how you do it. So it's very important to understand that the casual things, like thinking about things, and the casual things like being a nice person when somebody talks to you and being there for the people, those casual things, the normal behavior, thinking about things, is this good, is that not good, that is the first thing that you do. That is the most important thing that you do. And also behaving in a good way towards the other people and the other things is the most in the casual way is the most important thing that you do. But for proper meditation, it is important to keep the things that I said, to have an overview of the things that I said, that the things you think about and your attitude form your thought, make up the form of your thoughts. That is important to understand for proper meditation, because ultimately meditation will be trying to achieve a good form of your overall thoughts and a good form of your body, and a good position, posture of your body that is good for your for your spiritual being. And you will try to reach a form of the thoughts that's good for your spiritual being and spiritual behaving. And so the casual things always come first. It's not about not judging things anymore, thinking about things anymore. It's not about dropping this. It's about keeping this. But I wanted to make sure that we understand that we have to have an overview of form of the thoughts. What I explained, thinking about police car, fire car looks like this, and being happy looks like this, and both together gives a form of your thoughts at the moment. So people who think that they should meditate forgetting everything, being like the thing that they generally, as I said, there's the thing in your mind, in the back of your mind. If you should have crazy thoughts and you go crazy, at some point you will return to this point, so you're safe with your thoughts. Because you will always return to the point that you start from. So some people who meditate like this and go like, think of nothing, be quiet and stuff. They don't really meditate. It's just one single form. It's not reaching a good form. Good form always comes from understanding, while you think about things, while you have attitude, to understand one thing is this form, one thing is the other form, to understand which is the best form. It's finding forms. Good meditation is understanding the forms that you automatically have, and building them in yourself. So when you are casually nice to people, and when you give the good things and are nice and caring to people, you will suddenly notice that you by yourself come into better forms, that you make with your body, and you come into better forms that you make with your thoughts. And at some point you will see, oh, you think about things, you judge things, you are nice to people, and with this you reach a form of your thought and think, oh, that's a good form of the thought that I just have at the moment. It's that really works well. And then you meditate, and you sit back and you keep that form, and you hold it, and you see how it came to be, and how you can repeat it and hold it. That's proper meditation. It's not withdrawing. It's not going back to your basic point where you come from, but it's rather keeping your basic point as a safe place that you know you will come back to, and from there use the rest of your thoughts. That's why I said, and the one is in the back as the basic point, and the other stuff is in the front, so to say. It's all just images. It's in the front what the form of your thoughts actually is at the moment. So you don't go back to your basic point and forget everything. You rather use your thoughts and form them in the right way. And that's what your aim of meditation is. And you cannot construct these things that you think, okay, I want this and that. This form of the mind was good and this form of the thoughts was good, so I should go something in between. You cannot do this because it's too complicated. The universe is too complicated. That's why you only can be nice and think about things and keep your form of your thoughts as good as you can, and then notice that you will suddenly, without you wanted it, reach a better form of the thoughts. And then when you see that, then you keep it. Or you try to go back to a good form that you had. You cannot construct forms, but you can keep them, go back to them. When you only accidentally find forms of your thoughts that are good. So keep that in mind. It's the casual things, thinking about things, and being nice and caring to other people, but also for your meditation, you keep in mind that all those things that are in your thoughts make up the form of your thoughts, and you make up the form of your body, and you have to keep in mind that thinking about things and being in a mood together is a form, and you want to have a good form. So it's not always the right thing to right away think about things, or if they are like that or like that. It's important to keep an eye on the overall form. Keep an eye on how you are, what you think about, how you think about it, what form does it give your thoughts. So to keep up a good form. That's where we want to go with meditation. Keeping an overall good form of your thoughts. That was this video. It was an introduction overview about what meditation is. Thank you for watching.